Most gifted kids from the 90s don't wake up feeling smart anymore. They wake up tired. And the brain that won every test can't start dinner. It's a Tuesday at 6:47 p.m. The rice cooker's been unplugged for 3 days. There's an email open on the laptop you've been not answering since Tuesday morning. You're staring at the fridge because opening it would require deciding something. And the smartest kid in your third-grade class is the one who can't decide what to eat. I'm not coming at this from theory. I was the gifted kid. The pullout class. The IQ test at age 7. The gold stars and the parent-teacher conferences where they said I was going places. I'm in my 30s now, and I'm exhausted, and I've spent 5 years figuring out why. So today, we're going to name 4 things the gold star wired in that are billion now. Here's the mechanism. The gold star economy of the American 1990s ran on external reward. You did the thing, you got the sticker, the praise, the report card comment, the parent-teacher conference where they said you were going places. And your brain learned something important. Your brain learned that worth was downstream of output. There's a name for what was happening. 2 psychologists, Jennifer Crocker and Connie-Wolfe, wrote a paper in the Psychological Review in 2001. They called it contingencies of self-worth. The idea is that some people stake their sense of being a person on specific domains. School, performance, approval. The way you feel about yourself is contingent on what you produced today. That wiring is efficient for a kid in a graded environment. It's a disaster for an adult. Because here's what nobody told you. The gifted curriculum didn't actually challenge most of you. You were getting A's without studying, which means the kid version of you never had to develop the executive function muscles that less gifted kids built. The muscles for starting boring tasks, for tolerating the discomfort of being bad at something, for pushing through when the dopamine hit didn't come automatically. 2 researchers, Brown and Reichel and Quinlan, published a paper in the Journal of Attention Disorders in 2009. They found that high IQ adults with ADHD show clear executive function impairments. The intelligence masks it. The label hides it. The system of giftedness identification doesn't catch it. There's a name for this profile, too. Researchers Sally Rice, Susan Baum, and Edith Burke published an operational definition in Gifted Child Quarterly in 2014. They called it twice exceptional. 2 letters. 2E. The intelligence is good enough at compensating that the second profile never gets caught. The gold star covers it. Most of us got the first label and missed the second for 30 years. Here's the first one. The gold star taught you that your worth comes from output. Every quiz had a number on it. Every report card had a column. Every parent-teacher conference ended with the question, what did you achieve this quarter? Your value as a person was a function of what you produced. Not your effort, not your character, your output. So now you take a Saturday off, you sit on the couch at 11 a.m. with a coffee, and you try to just be. And something terrible happens inside your chest. There's a low panic that says you're wasting the day. You're falling behind. The output is 0, and the worth is 0. Because that's the equation the 8-year-old in you learned. You're not lazy on the weekend. You're dissociating because the system that tells you you exist isn't running. The gold star wired your worth into a continuous performance. And now even your rest counts against you. Here's the second one. The curriculum was easy. That's the part nobody names out loud. You were in the gifted track, and the material was still mostly below your processing speed. You got A's without trying. You didn't have to work because the work didn't require it. And your brain learned a second important lesson. Thinking should feel easy. So now you sit down to do a hard thing. A new framework at work. A novel problem. A skill you haven't learned. And something in you panics. The friction feels wrong. The friction feels like a sign that you, specifically, are broken, that you're not actually smart, that the whole gifted thing was a fluke and now you've been found out. What actually happened is that you skipped 20 years of the muscle, the struggle muscle, the discomfort muscle, the this is hard and I'm doing it anyway muscle. Less gifted kids built that in 4th grade fractions class. You built it? Never. Here's the third one, and it's the one most of us don't say out loud. Smart became your identity. Not a thing you happen to be good at. Not one of many qualities. The whole self. When the gifted label arrives at age 7, your brain doesn't store it as, I am a person who does well on tests. It stores it as, I am smart. Period. Full stop. Identity. So what happens when you fail at something now? When you don't get the job? When you can't figure out how to do a budget? When you forget to pay a bill 3 months in a row? The failure doesn't read as, I didn't do that thing well. It reads as, I am not who I thought I was. It's an identity collapse, not a setback. The 8-year-old in you hears every B+ as confirmation the gold star was a mistake. And the adult version of you can't separate the work from the worth, because the wiring never gave you a self that existed apart from the output. Here's the fourth one. The threshold was perfect, a 100, a perfect Scantron. The all A's report card. That was the standard the system rewarded, and that was the standard your brain internalized as normal. Anything less than that was a failure of the gifted identity. A 92 wasn't good. A 92 was something to apologize for. So now, you're a 32-year-old turning in B+ work. The presentation that landed but didn't kill. The email that did the job but wasn't elegant. The conversation with your partner that was honest but messy. And your nervous system registers each of these as moral failure. Not, I could have done that better. Moral failure. You feel guilty. You feel ashamed. You feel like you should be apologizing to someone you're not sure who. This is what perfectionism actually does. It doesn't make you a high achiever. It makes you a person who is in low-grade pain every day, because B+ work feels like falling. And the gifted kid in you doesn't have a language for the difference between good enough and failure, because the system never taught you one. So, what do you actually do about this? 4 things. Each one is small. Each one is uncomfortable. Each one rewires something the gold star bolted in. 1. Write down one thing you did today that had nothing to do with output, not a task you completed, not a deliverable, not something that produced a result anyone could grade, something you did because you wanted to do it. The walk you took. The 5 minutes you spent watching the cat sleep. The text you sent to a friend that wasn't about logistics. Write it down. Why this works. The wiring expects output as proof of existence. The list is the counter-evidence. It's also the start of teaching your brain that existence isn't conditional. The kid who got the gold star didn't have a category for being and not producing. This list is the start of one. 2. When you catch yourself chasing a small approval, name it out loud. The reply to the boss you crafted for 10 minutes. The way you said yes to a thing you didn't want to do. The pull to send the follow-up text after one too many minutes. Say it. That was the gold star. Why this works. The moment you name the pattern, you create a millisecond of distance between the trigger and the chase. That millisecond is where the rewiring happens. Most of you have never noticed the chase. It's so fast it doesn't register as a choice. The naming forces it into consciousness. You can't change a pattern you can't see. Visibility is the first move. 3. Do one thing badly on purpose this week. Not a meaningful thing. A low-stakes thing. Send the rough draft. Cook the bad dinner. Show up to the workout in the wrong outfit. The point is not to be a worse person. The point is to introduce your nervous system to the experience of doing a B-plus thing and not collapsing. The system has never met that experience. Give it one. The first time will feel like dying. The rough draft will sit in your sent folder, and you'll feel sick. The bad dinner will sit on the plate, and you'll feel exposed. Stay through the wince. Nothing happens. That's the data your wiring needs. 4. Sit with being unproductive for 10 minutes a day. On a timer. Phone in another room. Not meditating. Not journaling. Sitting. The first time you do this, the panic will arrive at minute 3 and stay through minute 10. Stay anyway. Why this works? The panic is the wiring asking you to produce something so it can confirm you exist. Every minute you don't is a minute the wiring loses a notch of its grip. Do this for 2 weeks. The panic will get shorter. Minute 3 will become minute 2, then minute 1. Then it won't come at all. Your system will learn that you exist without producing. It will take a while to believe it. Stay anyway. Quick thing before the last part. If any of this landed for you, hit subscribe, because the next videos go deeper into the wiring and what to do about it. And hit like if the Gold Star Kid version of you wouldn't recognize your kitchen right now. Here's the thing nobody said when you were 8, 10, 12, holding the report card with the perfect column of A's. They called it potential. It was a debt. We've been paying it for 30 years. And the first move toward not paying it anymore is naming what it actually was. I make deep dive videos for the ones who aced the test, lost the permission slip, and spent 30 years performing fine.